Alright, starting day 2. Went down and got some steel wool. I'm gonna try coarser grit and see if that helps. So last night I had an extra piece of this, and that's what I actually took the whole hood down with, and it seemed to be a little bit better. It didn't gum up like those green pads did. So I'm hoping this will really cut through it. I can use this to clean off the remainder of it. I started using it back up here. You can see where I stopped and the black that's still in there. I mean, basically I am wet sanding, except with steel wool and acetone. So I'll show you. I'm gonna go through and clean this up. The roof is basically the only one that's like this, all the swirl marks. And yeah, gonna try getting this side of the truck done today. Hopefully I'll have enough time. If not, I can always pull it in the shop and really go to town on it. So I'll be back. It's getting there. A couple hours later, steel wool is definitely the way to go. Buddy stopped by unexpectedly, helping me. So he's been working on the bed. And it's getting there. Also, good thing to know, don't put acetone in a purple power container. It did not like it. Out of this bitch. What's a Japanese car without a half-naked anime chick? Definitely one I don't want to see. Alright, so earlier I decided I was going to try test fitting, just kind of mock up, just kind of hold it up against and see how it fit. I originally bought the Mark I Volkswagen duckbill. It's going to need a lot more work than I'm really wanting to put into it right now. It's from about here on. I'm going to have to cut it to keep it going straight. And honestly, I don't want to ruin this right now. I'm not the biggest fan of the Camaro ones, so I was kind of trying to go out of the ordinary with it, and pulled this out of my part stock. This is an original BRE made fiberglass front air dam for Datsun 1200. I have a BRE themed Datsun 1200, but I wasn't the biggest fan of this on there, so I was either going to run the spook spoiler off 510 or potentially this one. So seeing how as I have it now, might as well use the Volkswagen one. But on this one, this fits so close to perfect. I mean, there's a little bit of gap, but that could be because the front valence is destroyed, but bent. And I'm going to be able to take and pull it to the front air dam. So it actually fits surprisingly well. I don't know if I can potentially hold it up. Oh yeah. Good thing it's fiberglass, huh? It fits really well. And the gap, I mean, that's in there is because the valence is mangled. But once I drill the holes, I can sit there and start bending it and pulling it back to where it needs to be to fit this. And so this is what's going to be on there. The funny thing is too, is it almost looks like a vintage 620 spoiler. I like it. It'll do for now. And it's not like I'm going to ruin it to put it on. So if I ever want to take it off, I can. And yeah. So we're getting there. I was kind of bouncing around trying different things too. I have 10 years worth of Datsun parts. So I was missing the center console. So I had one of a B210. I'm unsure if I'm going to use it. There's some gap between the heater motor, but I think once it's mounted down, I think it would work. Personally, I think it's a little bit better. It's better than nothing. Um, it's something, I guess. So I'm gonna start smashing on this. And good news, I did find something that started to take the blue off. I have 320 grit in a pad, and that with acetone achieved that in about 5 minutes, give or take. So right now, that's going to be my goal. Hopefully I have enough. You can already see, like I said before, kids sanded it down, but it's getting there. So I will be back. Okay, something else I'm considering doing is retrofitting some B210 coupe taillights. I originally bought these for my 521. I was never able to use them. I ended up selling the car before I did. I wasn't gonna pay the $300 for lenses, and I picked these up for 60 bucks. I've seen it done on one or two of them, and it actually works really well and looks pretty cool. And so I'm thinking I have an extra set of the housings that I can take and kind of butcher apart. And I'm thinking maybe cut it right here at the bottom. If I have to, I can leave this stationary to the quarter if I want. And then do the same thing up here, keep this, and then retrofit these to fit in it. I mean, obviously this is for the left side. I just have this one handy right now. But I think it would be visually appealing. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility of looking good. And one of the other things I was looking at, I have my 1200 coupe. It doesn't have bumpers on it, but I have the original rear bumper for it. And it's almost a perfect fit. I'm thinking once I take the bumper off, it will probably sit right next to the bottom of the taillight housing. And looking at the mounts from this bumper to this one are almost identical. Or if I had to, I could weld something up and make this work. I mean, our only options for a 620 are bumperettes, which with brackets are $500, or no bumper. And I have all these parts laying around that have no purpose to me, really. I might as well give it a go and see if I can use them. I figure if I can make this work, then I'll do a roll pan kind of section in between the taillights. And then I can attach that, and then I'll make a bracket down here to mount my license plate. And I think it'll look pretty cool looking. I think it'll definitely be unique with the taillight setup and actually having a full bumper compared to what we have. So I think here pretty soon, after I get this thing up and going, I'm going to take a stab at it and see. The worst that can happen is it doesn't work and I don't run a bumper, but I feel like it's worth a shot. Alright, this is where I'm going to end off tonight. my hands are killing me from bashing into corners and everything else. I'm going to have to take and remove the hinges, locking mechanism, whatever, latches, from this so I can get this out and get everything behind it and get it cleaned. I was right. The blue spray paint started about right here and came down and about there. Luckily enough, the 320 with the acetone actually pulls it off. It was some work, way more than the black is, but it'll come off, and that's when I'm going to start attempting this. I'm thinking I'm going to have to go pick up some more supplies tomorrow. I'm going to need more acetone. I'm going to have to go buy probably 10 or 15 of those pads for 320. I can get them at Harbor Freight for reasonably cheap, but it looks pretty good. Definitely better than it was. Definitely made an improvement in the 10 hours I've put in this thing. Doesn't look quite stolen anymore. But one of the things I was talking about too was improvising and making parts work and kind of thinking outside the box. This thing's dirty, so don't judge me. My 810, I couldn't find a rear spoiler for this thing. I looked all over. I could find some things over in Japan and Australia. They weren't exactly what I wanted, so I improvised. I took a Camaro spoiler. The center section's about right here to right here. I took the end caps. I cut them before they kicked down over the quarter panel. I flipped them around and put them on opposite sides and bolted it together through the inside, and then was able to extend it from end to end of the trunk. And then I just fiberglassed everything in. It's all bolted on all the way across. Fiberglassed everything in, smoothed it all out. You gotta work with the stuff you have sometimes, but it's pretty good. So if I can take some improvising off this thing and move it to this, I should be able to make it pretty cool, unique, stand out. But stay tuned until next time. Next video will probably be coming out soonish. I work nights, so I'm gonna come out here after I get home and do what I can. So I am thinking I'm gonna take the paint I used on the wheels and I'm gonna do the Datsun logo in it, so that'll tie everything in so it's not kind of out of place. I've had a few people question whether the bronze was a good look for the yellow. Personally, I like it. I think it's better than white or black, and honestly, I wasn't going to spend the time to polish these. I'm working on a set of works right now that are hammered. I'm probably in them 60 hours, and I'm not trying to be in these things this long. I mean, they're $100 wheels. But, alright guys,